Oh, say, can you hear?
Yet another red light.
Well, I'm gonna spill all
The secrets you're holding
About the spaceships up there and the aliens down here and all history,
which is totally fake.
I'm going to move forward into the future. So I go through high school, I graduate, no more unusual anomalies. I just worked out, trying to figure out what the heck I need to do, if I need to go to college, all that stuff right there. I wanted to be a bodybuilder at the time, to go compete, all that stuff, and I did eventually win a bodybuilding competition, the teen top contest down here. I did win that. I wanted to get out into the world and figure out if I could become a successful bodybuilder at the time that I thought that I wanted to do at the time, whatever. So, of course, I competed successfully until my mid-20s, worked at regular jobs, but I never really had a career, couldn't really, get myself together, so I wouldn't decide to get out of it. So now, I think I was 27 at the time. So what ended up happening and what was about to happen, I had no idea what was about to happen. But during this time, I had heard this show one night. I was listening to it, called the Art Bell Show. And I remember listening, I came across it by accident, one Art Bell show going on. At the time, they were talking about people that were making claims to be in contact with aliens, that were abducting them and all this stuff. And I was listening to this thing, about all these alien abductions, having no idea at all what was about to happen to me. I mean, the thought wasn't there. I was like, this is pretty cool, aliens. And I had an interest in it. Of the year 1997. And we went into a restaurant, and I'm going to tell you exactly some of the locations where these things were happening at. There is a restaurant right now called the Lucky Village Chinese Buffet. If it's still open, I haven't been there in a couple of years. It's right there by Westheimer Road in the Beltway. And it's a pretty popular restaurant. A lot of people go there. And we went in there to get something to eat one evening. Well, Saturday evening, we'd always go out every Saturday evening to go eat. So I walked inside there. We got a booth, and I said to my girlfriend, I said, babe, go ahead and grab your food first. I'll just wait right here. You go ahead and go first. So I'm sitting right here, and we're sitting at a booth. So several booths over, there is a gentleman sitting, and his back is turned to me, black hair, looked like he was in his 50s. And I noticed when I walked in and entered the restaurant, there was a short, blonde-haired woman sitting with this guy, and they're just sitting there facing each other, and they were eating their food. So my girlfriend went ahead and was getting her food from the buffet, and I just happened to be looking forward. All of a sudden, the woman, I just happened to look in her direction, and I see her go like this. Looks at me, and when I looked into her eyes were very bright and very blue and very dense. Literally almost glowing at me, shining at me. And when I saw the thing right there, I was like, what in the heck is that? So I was staring, I was in a state of shock. I'm like, how can someone's eyes? The first thing that hit me in my mind was, this woman is wearing contact lenses. And I'm looking, and the woman is looking at me, and I said, my God. And the woman kept looking at me and smiling at me. She was attractive. She had short blonde hair. Her hair was kind of white, almost platinum looking. She looked like she was probably around 40 years old, and she was a little chunky. She was a little chubby, a little heavier set. The next time I'd seen these freaky eyes now was at a Halloween party going on at a nightclub off of Richmond. So this time I figured out what I'd seen was some type of contact lens, but I'll tell you what happened. And I just happened to look to the left, and I see a man dressed in some kind of costume sitting right there with a cigarette, smoking the cigarette and looking at me. And all of a sudden I'm like, what the heck is that? And there are those blue, bright, dense eyes again. I said, Renee, look at that guy right there. Look at his eyes. So I look at her, and I said to her, look at his eyes. She looks over, she goes, I can't see his eyes from here. They look like regular eyes. What's the problem? I said, no, his eyes are blue and dense. I said, can't you see his eyes? So I think I'm losing it now. Like, what do you mean you can't see the guy? Look at the guy's eyes. So I'm looking at the guy's eyes, and the guy's eyes are dense, very, very blue. He talked to a few people. No one freaked out. No one acted any way differently, that like they were seeing something like what I was seeing. So I started to believe. I said, wait a second here. They're not seeing what I'm seeing, or they're accepting what they're seeing, or I'm seeing something. Something's wrong, possibly. When I was 30 years old, working in 24-hour fitness, I was really listening to the Art Bell show a lot and hearing all these different things going on, you know, UFO, secret space programs, you know, pyramids, all this stuff. And the only reference I never had access to the internet around 2003 is when I literally got a computer, hooked it up, went on there, went online, went on Richard Hogan's website, Art Bell's site, Steve Quill, all these websites. So let's go back to gym. So one day, I was sitting inside the gym, and my sales were really high, and I was one of their top sales guys. What ended up happening was I saw a couple show up at the front desk. So I look up there and I looked at the people. I didn't see anything unusual. Right when I walked up to the couple, and I'm now walking around the gym with these two people, and the man looked at me and goes, I mean, he was wearing glasses. Okay, he goes, this is my wife. So she turns around and looks at me. When I look at her, her irises are orange. And the woman is about in her mid-60s, probably around 65 years old. I'm looking in this woman's eyes. And Chester walked out and happened to take a look. And I hear Chester go, holy damn, what the hell is that? So Chester saw something. So Chester was looking back at the distance, kept looking, going like this, looking. He had seen something. I don't know why they allowed him to see it, but I was freaking out. I've never seen anything like. I mean, the woman is right in front of me, point blank. I'm looking inside her eyes, and her eyes are just so unusual looking. And the lines in the eyes were very sharp. You know, you have the iris, the pupil inside the section of the eye, and you have the iris, the color part. I mean, that's what I understand right here. The pupil was round and larger, and the color part of the eye was orange, and there are these white lines. You know these little lines that you have in your eye? The white lines were very sharp. They were very pronounced, going toward eyes. This is the pupil. The lines are going toward the pupil, really sharp. And I'm looking at her eyes. I'm like, so I kept looking at her eyes like, what is that? And he said, okay, Mark, we're going to go ahead and think about the membership, and then we'll let you know what we decide to do. So he goes, okay, we'll see you around. So they went ahead and took off. And I walked back over to my table. I said, Chester, did you see that? He goes, dude, these people look like freaking freaks, and they look like aliens. He goes, dude, that woman's eyes were freaky. I said, yeah, I was looking at her eyes point blank. This was the beginning of something really, really serious. Okay? Stay with me. Keep yourself interested. And I'm going to say something right here that I always tell people. There is nothing for me to gain by lying to you. Okay? All this will do is wreck my credibility and screw up my reputation. And that will never happen. Because the truth is the truth. And extraterrestrial humans are walking around in the city, right here in Houston, thousands of them. They are driving in cars right next to us, and they are working in our jobs. And our state government, our governors know about it. The military knows about it. They all know what's going on. And these extraterrestrials are interacting with people inside the population. And contact, face-to-face contact, has already begun. You see, here's the thing. I didn't think that I would be one of the people that would have that type of privilege. Why me? That is what we're going to talk about now.
Say, can you finally
Start telling us the truth.
Protect our civil liberties.